It was a typical afternoon in a mid-sized American high school. Lockers clanked, sneakers squeaked, voices rose and fell in that constant hum you only notice when it stops. Amid that familiar chaos, someone shouted loud enough to make a few students turn 6-7, two ordinary numbers. But then something odd happened. The phrase echoed. It bounced off the walls, hopped from group to group, and instantly became part of the rhythm of the hall. A flash of laughter or of confusion. A momentary bond between speaker and listener. In that moment, the mundane hallway transformed. These numbers were no longer digits, they were a signal, a tiny ritual, a shared wink across adolescence. It all traces back to a song by a rapper known as Skrilla. In December 2024, he released Doot Doot 6-7, a drill-style track with dark undertones. From there, a younger player or fan called the 67 Kid in the culture yelled 6-7 from the bleachers during a youth basketball game, his hands raised in a gesture, a grin on his face, the camera catching his moment. What had begun in a song now leaped off the screen into real life. A lyric became a chant. And suddenly, somewhere between digital and physical space, 6-7 became contagious. Why did it stick? On one level, simply because it was odd. Two numbers with no clear definition. That peculiarity invited repetition. From a psychological perspective, we humans are drawn to patterns we don't fully understand. We like inside jokes. We like knowing something that others might not. When someone else whispers or yells 6-7, the listener instinctively checks, do I know what that means? Am I part of this? If yes, a small rush of belonging. If no, a moment of outsider status. The number becomes less about meaning and more about membership, and that may be the point. Because when the meaning is vague or shifting, the value of the phrase is not in definition, but in the act. Saying it together binds people. It's like a secret handshake that spreads by imitation. In classrooms, students whisper it when someone says 6 or 7, or when a teacher mentions a date, or a scoreboard flashes 67. A few giggles. Maybe an eye roll from a teacher. But the participants sense the rhythm. 6-7, pause, gesture, laughter. The interruption is playful. The disruption is part of the fun. The momentary chaos is the signal. Consider this. Teachers report that in some classrooms, the phrase has become so common it's disruptive. Someone says 6 or 7, and 20 voices respond 6-7. It becomes a reflex. One teacher described it as like a virus of the phrase. The irony, what began as playful inclusion now threatened exclusion. Those who didn't know the meme felt lost. Those trying to enforce order felt powerless. The hallway becomes a battleground between order and the spontaneous play that this phrase invites. Because psychologically, inside jokes serve multiple functions. They create group identity. They exclude outsiders. They punctuate mundane moments with surprise. The phrase 6-7 illustrates this. From an outsider's view, it is meaningless. But that meaninglessness is exactly why it thrives. It doesn't matter what the phrase means, only that it is. That same logic is ancient Pumans have always used nonsense chants, playful words, intro-group phrases to mark belonging. The digital age just accelerates them. Now, let's step into the individual experience. Imagine you are a student walking down that hallway. You hear the phrase, "Do you join?" You feel a surge, a chance to be in. You mimic the chant, raise your hands in the little gesture. A peer laughs. You laugh. You're part of the moment. Later, when you're alone, you wonder, why did I say that? What did I mean? You may not fully answer, but you felt something. The feeling is belonging. The moment is connection. In the digital realm, this phrase translates neatly. On TikTok and Instagram Reels, editors used the lyric from Skrilla's song, timed the drop, added the gesture, paired the sound with moments of surprise sports highlights, comedic fails, even random everyday chaos. That matching of audiovisual surprise plus rhythm makes the phrase sticky. For creators, it's a simple template. Number plus gesture plus beat equals repeatable ritual. The irrational becomes reproducible, and so it spreads. One friend tells another, a video gets reposted, a classroom hears it. A teacher sighs. A parent asks, "What does that mean?" The unknown becomes known by being unknown. We accept the phrase not because we understand it, but because we witness others using it and feel the pull. It becomes part of the recent youth lexicon. The meaning bleeds into ambiguity, which is the psychology behind many memes. We like to co-create meaning or none. There's another layer to this, identity and power. Saying 6'7" is a small act of resistance. In a structured environmental classroom, a school, an adult world, this phrase is chaos. It's unpredictable. It disrupts the routine. That disruption humanizes the young person. It says, I am part of something you don't control. For adolescents especially, that is potent. It's a playful way of balancing conformity. We're at school. With rebellion, we shout nonsense. The phrase becomes a safe rebellion. The reaction of adults' confusion, irritation only amplifies the effect. Let's go deeper. There's the psychology of musical hooks. The song drops a beat. The lyric, 6'7", hits. That kind of rhythm primes our brains. We like the gap after the beat. We like to anticipate it. So when in a video you hear 6'7", just as the beat drops, your body responds. You nod, you grin, you mimic. It doesn't matter that you don't know the deeper meaning. The form alone is enough. So the phrase rides our neural circuits of pattern recognition, expectation, surprise, and release. That's powerful. Then there's the social contagion effect. When you hear others saying it, you're more likely to say it. Mirror neurons fire. You mimic the gesture. You share the laugh. You become part of the wave. And when the number pops up in unrelated contexts, someone gets 67% on a test, and they edit a 6-7 sound under it. It becomes me migration. It travels from basketball to school to gaming to wherever. The adaptability is key. In one video, 6-7 follows a scoreboard. In another, a dog barks and someone yells 6-7. The absurdity is the feature, not the bug. Generation Alpha and late Gen Z are growing up in a world where attention is short, sounds move faster than sentences, and what matters is surprise, image, rhythm, instant inclusion. So a phrase like 6-7 is tailor-made, a quick sound, a gesture, zero heavy meaning required. In fact, the lack of meaning may even be its meaning. Linguists call this phenomenon nonsense signifier. The content is less important than the function membership repetition. Surprise. The phrase thrives because it refuses to commit. It remains fluid. That fluidity is liberating. It allows each user to project their own sense of fun or disruption onto it. By now, the phrase has reached multiple domains: sports locker rooms, classroom corners, TikTok feeds, Instagram stories. It's even been covered by major news outlets exploring why kids keep shouting 6-7. Teachers complain. Parents roll their eyes. Some schools ban it, but banning it only increases the mystique. Because if you're told you cannot shout 6-7, you might just want to shout it louder. Which brings us to you, the viewer of this video. You might have heard 6-7 and laughed or rolled your eyes. You might have wondered, what is this about? Now you see the story behind it. But more than the story, you see the pattern. How a tiny sound becomes social signal. How the brain finds belonging in repetition. How teen culture invents its own codes. How the digital age makes nonsense feel potent. How we all crave to be part of something, even if that thing is two numbers. At this point, I'd like you to pause and reflect, or better yet, comment. When did you first hear of 7? Was it at school, online, in sport? What did it feel like in that moment? Did you join in or stay silent? Let me know in the comments, because your experience is part of the story too. And while you're at it, if you're re-enjoying this video and want more deep dives into weird trends and what they show us about culture and mind, go ahead and hit subscribe and ring the bell. LLB putting out videos where we peel back the curtain of internet crazies and maybe help you not just laugh at them, but understand them. We've traced 6-7 from its musical origin to its classroom echoes. But the journey is far from over. The numbers keep reverberating because they filled a gap. A moment of surprise, a moment of belonging, a moment of small chaos in an ordered world. And that gap is fertile ground for many even, if it's meaning that refuses definition. In the next part of this story, we'll explore how 6-7 functions in real-life social systems, how meaning shifts when adults enter the conversation, how teachers and parents respond, and what this moment tells us about the future of language and culture. We'll also examine the flip side. When belonging becomes exclusion, when repetition becomes noise, when chaos becomes distraction. And finally, I'll offer 3 practical takeaways you can use to navigate these waves of culture. Whether you a creator, a teacher, a parent, or just someone watching the trend unfold. So stay tuned for that. When we left off, 6-7 had already escaped the internet and started echoing through classrooms. But what happens next reveals something deeper about how humans use nonsense to make sense of themselves. The story continues in the places adults rarely look, in the small pauses between periods. In the corners of the cafeteria, in Discord calls after homework is done. There, the phrase becomes a bonding ritual. Someone says 6, another replies 7. A third bursts out laughing even though no one can explain why it's funny anymore. The laughter itself becomes the glue. The numbers lose meaning, but the moment gains it. That what psychologists call collective effervescence, that electric spark people feel when they chant together at a concert, a protest, or a game. It's the same mechanism that makes you throw your hands up when your favorite song drops. The 6-7 meme is a miniature version of that energy, stripped down to a few syllables. For a brief second, shouting those numbers synchronizes dozens of young minds in a single pulse of joy. It's primitive and futuristic at the same time, tribal chanting through the lens of TikTok. But with that joy comes tension. Adults begin to ask questions. News outlets run headlines. Why are kids yelling 6-7 in class? Teachers post videos begging for it to stop. And suddenly, what was once harmless fun becomes framed as disruption. Schools ban it, principals threaten detention. Yet, just as with every banned dance or forbidden phrase, the prohibition amplifies its power. Tell a generation not to say something, and you guarantee that it echoes louder. From a psychological angle, this is rebellion wrapped in humor. Teenagers rarely rebel with ideology. They rebel with sound, style, and memes. Saying 6-7 in a quiet room where it's forbidden is an act of control. It's claiming a voice in a world run by adults. You can't fight the system with essays, but you can make it flinch with a 2-syllable chant that no one understands. Meanwhile, on social media, the meme mutates again. The hashtag number 67 starts trending on TikTok. Creators remix it with everything from anime clips to cooking fails. Someone drops a video of their dog knocking over a cup, timed perfectly to the lyric 6-7 millions watch. Laugh comment 67 with a fire emoji. The meme becomes language shorthand for surprise, power, or pure absurdity. And underneath all of it, there's the human craving for connection. Every meme that spreads this fast does so because it scratches a psychological itch. It gives us something to share without revealing too much of ourselves. When you post a 6-7 video, you're not exposing your feelings. You're joining a rhythm, a beat, a wave that carries you. The meme becomes a safe way to say, I exist, I belong, I'm here too. If we zoom out, the phenomenon fits into a larger pattern of modern communication. The internet has shortened our emotional vocabulary. We use emojis, slang, and sounds to express what words once carried. Memes are the hieroglyphs of our digital age. 6-7 is just the latest glyph, meaningless on paper, but rich with shared emotion. It's the same reason why people say bruh or riz or quote random sounds from viral videos. These fragments are the new campfire stories. They unite us in collective confusion and delight. But there's a shadow side too. Every inside joke eventually divides. The same chant that creates belonging for some creates alienation for others. Imagine a student sitting in class hearing everyone yell 6-7, but they've never seen the meme. They feel left out, confused, maybe embarrassed. Culture always has borders, even when it pretends to be open. The price of inclusion is sometimes exclusion. That SY understanding memes, isn't he just about laughing at them? It's about recognizing what they reveal about us. They show where people feel unseen, unheard, or disconnected. When a meaningless phrase can make someone feel powerful, it's a sign that ordinary life feels powerless. 6-7 becomes a rebellion against boredom, against control, against invisibility. At this point in the story, we could dismiss it all as silly. But look closer. This same pattern has repeated across history. In the 1920s, jazz slang baffled parents. In the 1950s, rock and roll was called noise. In the 1980s, hip-hop was dismissed as chaos. Every generation invents sounds adults can't decode. 6-7 is just today's password to the underground, not of rebellion, but of belonging. Let's revisit our hallway one more time. A teacher walks by, coffee in hand, shaking their head as another wave of 6-7 erupts. They sigh, not realizing they're witnessing culture being born in real time. A phrase that started in a song, passed through a screen, now lives in the air around them, invisible, unstoppable. This is how culture works now, fast, fluid, funny, and fleeting. And soon, something else will replace it. Maybe another number, maybe a word, maybe a gesture. But 6-7 will leave behind a blueprint, a memory of how quickly connection can spread when it doesn't need explanation. You might wonder, does this really matter? It does, because understanding why we laugh at nonsense helps us understand why we believe anything at all. The same brain that finds joy in meaningless numbers also finds faith in slogans, in politics, in identity. We're wired to follow what feels familiar and fun. That's why movements, memes, and mantras all use rhythm and repetition. They hack our sense of belonging. So, what can we learn from 6-7? Maybe that meaning is overrated. Maybe that joy and mystery are enough. Or maybe that humans will always invent new ways to say the same thing. We in this together. Before we close, I want you to think about this. When was the last time you felt part of something bigger? Not because it made sense, but because it made you smile. Was it a song lyric, a phrase, a shared joke? Comment below and tell me what your 6-7 moment was. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, not just because it helps this channel grow, but because we're rebuilding a space to understand why we do the things we do online and offline. Now, imagine the future of language 10 years from now. Words might not even matter. Maybe communication will be pure feeling, a gesture, a glance, a soundbite. 6-7 might be long gone, but its spirit will live on in every viral sound that connects strangers across continents. And when people look back, they might laugh and say, "Remember when everyone shouted 6-7?" But beneath the laughter will be something more tender. The memory of a time when the world felt small enough that a pair of numbers could make millions of people smile. In the end, that's the beauty of it. 6-7 isn't about logic or language. It's about the invisible threads that tie us together through humor, rhythm, and mystery. It reminds us